They got to spray the booty. I don't see any other way. Like from dance to dance, they're gonna have to wipe that ass down. I don't see any other way.
Yeah. And we back. Welcome back to another episode, 3 and Impossible. You know who it be. It's your boy, DRE, repping that 3 and P. And you in the place to be this week with us on this new episode. And of course, I'm not here alone. You know, I'm here with my 2 other brothers from another mother. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So go ahead with that.
It's Jay Gill from Southside.
What happened to you saying the southernmost tip?
I switches it up from time to time. But yes, I'm from the southernmost tip.
Southernmost tip.
Wine and cheese night. A-Rob from the south side. Back in the building. Well, room, I guess. Dwelling. Whatever you want to call it. I'm back.
Cell.
Yeah.
What did you drink on this week?
And that's a good question. What did I pour? I think it's a cab. Like a Sauvignon. I think it's a cab. I want to say it's a cab that I poured.
Word.
Y'all niggas want some?
No
cheese though, Jay Gill. Just wine.
Like I told you, I'm not going to drink wine until Hennessy starts making a wine.
Dwayne Wade got a wine, an entire company. I was thinking, I could buy some of his bottles to support the brother. I forgot what he had some whites. I saw he had a cab. I didn't get through the whole website, but I did. I like glanced, It was like, okay, he got some stuff that I feel like I can mess with, so I'm gonna support the brother and get him. And the prices were reasonable compared to other wines, so I was like, grab me a bottle. Maybe I'll get y'all brothers one too. Help y'all support. Even though I know y'all don't drink wine, but
I'll put it right back here. I'll put it right back here.
Bet. Done. Get some.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't know. I've grown an affinity for wine over the years, but in any event, that's not even the topic. So go ahead.
Yeah, that's for another day. But now we're here today because our topic of the day, we're going to be talking about that young COVID, aka that young Rona, or as Jay Gill likes to put it, that Wuhan.
I didn't say that. I never said that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Brother, here's the thing about video. We got evidence of you saying that.
Truly.
Yeah. So now that Jay Gill's done trying to deny that, yeah, we're going to be talking about mainly about the country opening back up, seeing how we're trying to return to a new normal as a country. We're opening up in phases. I see a lot of the countries opening up in phase 3, if I'm not mistaken, this week. A lot of the spots in the country as well are going to remain on phase 2 just because they're having some cases pop up now. But we're going to dive into that. With that being said, your boy's driving the boat this week. So, all right. So I'm your host, do the intro, editing, and I'm driving the boat. So I wear a lot of hats on the show this week. But to start with the first question, so what do y'all think about the phases being used to reopen up the states and the country? Like, how do you feel about those?
Well, it makes sense to bring things back little by little. I think strip clubs is back. So, what's not back now? If they got strippers, you can go get a lap dance. What can't you do? You definitely gonna get COVID. They be in there sweaty. I'm not saying I don't support. I go in there with my $40 like everybody else, but
So you're open to the 2-for-1 special in the back, I'm hearing.
I don't think I can afford to barely be in there. I sit down. They don't even let me sit down. For $40. But that's all I'm spending though. That's my limit.
That's your
been out there.
You don't sit down, so they can't get him. No, he don't have to buy no dances if you don't sit down.
And don't make eye contact either.
No wonder you be on Ray Charles mode when we get in there. You be all like,
yeah. But the strip clubs is opening back up. Dre even got his hat. He even dusted his hat off.
Where my hat?
Let him put his hat on. He's ready for it tonight.
Talking about right here. Hey, I almost had someone buy that hat off of me in the club one time. I was sold, but I didn't have my hair cut yet.
I think it's smart to reopen up in phases. I feel like we've rushed a couple phases.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as our Governor Walz has talked about turning the dial, I felt like in like the last 2 weeks, I think he clicked it 2 notches as opposed to like a notch and then evaluating. I think he just took another big click. But I get it, right? People are frustrated of sitting at home and not having nowhere to go, no businesses. So they open gyms. I haven't gone back. I'm keeping my membership on hold, on, I don't know, suspension hold, whatever they call it, until I'm comfortable that they have proper measures in place for me to go back. But I think it's smart, you know, to open up in phases. I don't think people have followed it. And I think what we've seen is there's been a spike in cases from people going back to their everyday lives. So I get it. I feel like it's smart to do it in phases. I think we have the hospital capacity now to handle if, you know, a ton of people get sick. So I think it's smart. But yeah, I get it. I get the phases.
And with that being said, I got a good segue opportunity. So we're going to go right into the next question. How do you feel the reopening of the country is going to affect the spread of COVID-19?
Well, I think he just said it. We already see it spiking. Some of that, let's be clear, some of that is they couldn't test us until recently. So the cases were always going to be higher once they started having more capability to test us. I, however, I think I had it back in March, but I haven't had the chance to get the antibody test. So I wanted to do that. But I guess we're still not sure if you've already had it that you can't get it again. So, you know, people get the flu every year. So I don't know how long I'm immune, if I'm immune at all. There are going to be more cases and even more. We got protesting going on in our city, protesting going on everywhere, but it started right here in our city. I'm sure the cases are going to jump here. The deaths are going to jump here. Hopefully less deaths because we got hospital capacity.
Yeah, I would agree with him. Spot on. Cases are going to rise, you know, as you open up the economy again and people start going back out and interacting and being in close proximity to each other. You just got to expect that to rise, but you hope that, one, like Jay Gill said, we have enough tested now to test people and people will self-quarantine, and that, two, we have the proper equipment in hospitals to take care of people who do get sick so that it doesn't transition into deaths or, you don't have enough capacity in the hospital to treat people who could potentially be saved. But you reopen it, people start going back out, haven't been pent up the last 3 months. Yeah, cases are going to rise for sure. Oh,
and certain people still need to stay in their house. If you are one of those affected people, one of those, you can go read up on this. We know who's dying more so than others. So some people do need to stay in the house. Not everybody can go out. I want to know what are they putting in place at the strip club to keep me safe?
Oh my God.
Let's go find out.
Yeah, let's go find out. Pick out that fro, shape up your beard a little bit. We'll go find out.
Well, you should have asked old girl. She was like, "Oh, come on back to the strip club with your what is it, stimulus money? Come
unemployment
on,
checks.
Get your unemployment checks." And people is out here balling on unemployment. Big shout out to people on unemployment getting that $600 bonus
for another month.
Holla at your boy.
What? You gonna hook him up with a job? What you mean?
but yeah, when she put that out, y'all should have responded like, what protections do y'all put in place to protect me if I come out tonight? And these two is fronting, but they in there. They might as well be in there now.
But it seems like your curiosity sparked the most right now. Like
he been in the house like everybody else. He ready to get out.
Dre's at the club right now. He just got the background on so y'all can't see.
Yeah, can I get another drink? Thank you. I had to mute the music during the episode. So.
Yeah.
But no, you guys do make a good point about definitely seeing the cases on a rise, because it was about, I think they reported 19 states that reported increase in cases. 14 of those states are reporting increase of 25% or more in their COVID cases this week alone. So with that being said, is reopening the country right now at this moment worth the health of the American public?
Probably not. Some people will disagree because they want the economy to get back rolling. There is a real fear about the economy, right? People paying their bills. You know, how long can the government just, you know, hand out these $600 weekly bonuses, you know, and hopefully a little longer. I'd say the smart thing would be if we were all still in the house and only going out what we had to. But the reality is we got to work, we got to eat, and there's a lot of pressure. You know, folks is out here with guns. We got protesting. You know, ain't no going back now. But I would say if we could do it all over, you know, don't open up anything, and let's just keep on being safe, and maybe don't kill, you know, Black folks, and then, you know, we won't be protesting in the streets, and I think we would all be safer. You know, maybe the strip club can be open. I don't know.
You really want to go?
You really do.
I agree with Jay Gill, but I'm gonna take the devil's advocate position, and saying that it's not worth the risk, but it is beneficial because the majority of people that get it aren't going to be like in that critical. They're not going to get to that critical stage where they're going to need ventilators and things. So what we've learned is that the majority of people will either get mild or no symptoms, and that some people will get like the severe symptoms. So is it worth public health risk? No. But I do think it's beneficial for people to get back to work. Cause like Jay Gill said, people ain't getting paid. They're getting that $600 bonus and thinking about the strip club. But
I mean, it's a raise right now to be on unemployment. It is a raise for, for at least what, 70-80% of the people, but that's probably low.
But yeah, I agree.
Did you at least get it? I mean,
I don't think so.
Don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was
looking.
I don't think it's worth the public health risk. I get the arguments that, you know, why hold people back from living their lives if they get it and it's not going to be, you know, they're not going to be in critical condition. Let me say I don't agree with that stance, but I get why people are trying to argue. Huh?
Sounds like you do, brother. Sounds like you do agree.
No, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and say, you know, I get people's arguments of why not. You know, like if we go out, well, we already got the Wuhan because of Jay Gill, but like if we go out, the odds are even if we hadn't had it before, we catch it, we're not going to get it as severe as some other people who are older with underlying conditions. So why should we be forced to stay in the house? But the concern is like we get around people who are at high risk, give it to them, or we catch a different strand that's stronger, that's mutated, and you know, we die. We get.
Y'all got all y'all wheels ready to go?
You ain't in it.
Well, then I guess I
wrote mine on the back of a receipt.
No, I would say no. It's not worth the public health risk. I think, like we said on the last episode, from a humanitarian aspect, the government could do more to take care of people during these times.
Mm-hmm.
So Dre, you wrote on the back of a receipt who gonna pay them? Who gonna pay your bills?
I should just write on the back of a bill.
I can see you like, hey, cousin, pay my phone bill. I'm leaving this bill to you, this bill to you, and this bill to you.
Who was it that said? I think it was Chris Rock in one of it in a movie. He said, "Black people when they died, no, white people when they die, they leave a will. Black people when they die, they leave a bill."
Oh, that's so racist. That's funny. If it's funny, I always let it pass.
Just so talking about the economy, so economically, with the reopening, with the country, America, the states, are we going to be able to recover economically with us reopening? I'm pointing this question mainly to A-Rob because I know he's over like, ooh, money. Let's talk about this. So,
well, Yeah, we'll be able to recover. What that recovery looks like and how long it takes, I think, is another story, right? Like they talk about spending really drives, production and spending really drives the economy, right? So, even if we reopen everything, how comfortable are you going to feel going places? Just like Jay Gill said about the strip club, right? Like, what measures do you have in place to protect my safety?
Yeah.
Like, if that's not in place for airlines, for airports, then
they're going to
consumers are gonna,
spray. They're going to spray the booty. I don't see any other way. Like from dance to dance, they're going to have to wipe that ass down. I don't see any other way. How am I safe?
Is your economy just a strip club, or are we going to talk about the economy as a whole?
And she can't, and she needs to not touch me with her hands either. And they need to wipe the bottom of their shoes because they be yeah. And switch clothes every couple of dances. You can't just dance on 15 people with the same G-string on.
That's if they allow 15 people in there. I'm sure they got limits on who they can let in.
And then when they be motorboating, because they do allow people to motorboat in there, they need to watch. I'm just saying, I don't see any other way.
Isn't the mask gonna protect the motorboater?
She do need to have a mask on. Matter of fact, just put some over the whole head. I could care less.
Whoa, you're gonna get ate alive for that comment. I can tell you now.
What about safety though?
I'm just saying that's the big thing, right? Like, yes, the economy will recover, but it depends on how confident consumers are in like their safety and they're willing to spend. Because people are like not like Jay Gill said, but people have lost their jobs. They're on unemployment. If they don't get their jobs back, what money do they have to spend? They're not going to be out spending, going to restaurants. And
that's $600, nigga. Yeah, they do got money right now.
That ends at the end of July. Yeah.
Why are you always looking forward? You need to live in the now sometimes.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, live in the now, brother. Coronavirus pandemic.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it depends how quickly it turns around. I think it depends on how confident consumers are in us having a hold or grasp of containment of the virus. But until people feel confident that one, their jobs are secure or they have money to spend, then you probably see the economy stagger along for a while. And I think even Wells Fargo just announced that they're going to have layoffs too. So this is a major Fortune 500 company. I think they're top 3 of the largest banks in the nation here. If they're laying people off, you can bet your bottom dollar that some other companies going to be laying people off too. So more people will be out of jobs. Will that restrict or constrain some of the spending as well? So
you podding now, young man. Yeah.
Huh?
Layoffs is coming. I said you podding now. You
podding. Yeah, I think we'll recover. It's just a matter of when. I think we're looking at probably a year or 2 out before things get back to quote unquote normal.
Okay. And just to piggyback on
what Jay Gill,
Jay Gill said what he believes.
Oh, the strip club? No. Yeah. That's all the thing you care about the economy.
Well,
do you have a real response, Jay Gill, or are you just concerned about the strip club's economy?
No, I mean, I am. Y'all are going, and I'm just really concerned about y'all health. How are y'all not going to get what the next man has?
Come and make sure we're safe.
I mean, there's this dancer. I mean, y'all are most likely going to get a dance with. She gets pretty hot really fast. Like, she's always patting her head. She got a little fan in her purse. So I know they get sweaty in there.
Hey,
he got y'all pretty much dead. Y'all dead.
I'm bringing in a bottle of Lysol.
y'all rest in peace. I'm gonna have another episode after y'all gone.
With who?
Yeah, right. Who?
Just me. Yeah. Matter of fact, send them Zoom passwords.
You good?
You got it.
Good.
No, but I'm good, Jay. We'll go on to the next question. I am concerned about the health of the country with the strip clubs open. So,
well, just a piggyback question off that first one. With these new procedures and protocols being taken by a lot of businesses, which is limiting a lot of their occupancies, hence like restaurants and bars and grills and all that, do you think they'll be able to like sustain their business? Like, with these new policies and rules going in, since they're not
If
having so much traffic as they used to have. You know what I mean?
if you have a good product, you will be fine. It may be hard at times. I mean, I'm not saying some good places haven't maybe shut down already, maybe, but I think if you have a good product, if you have good food, people are going to come. They're going to take it to go. People are going to come. People are itching to get out and sit. Some of these places have been packed. I walked down Nicollet. I can't even know why I was walking down Nicollet, but downtown, and there were people, groups of 3, 4, 5. Like, it's coming back. Next month it's going to be more. The month after that it's going to be more, unless everyone, unless we get that second wave, and then there's that fear. I think there's going to be less fear, even if there is a second wave, and I don't think they're going to be able to close down. Like, people are crazy. And if they try to close down again, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But if you have a good product, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I think Jay Gill's spot on, right? I think businesses will be able to survive if they have a good product or good service. And then I think, too, a little bit of community feeling committed to helping these businesses survive, too, right? Like, so if you look at local businesses and things, if members from our community are like, that business was struggling. They're a small business. They've been they've been forced to shut down by this pandemic, and we can help them out by going to spend our money there. I think that's another way that businesses can survive too, is, community bands together and support some of these local businesses as opposed to large chains. So I do think there's a path forward for businesses, even with limited capacity.
Okay. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Just out of curiosity for you fellas, I know for me and my job, there have been certain policies and things put in place for my safety going to work. How about you guys? Has there anything been put in place for y'all? I know, A-Rob, you're still working from home, but have they even mentioned anything about y'all going back? Or
Yeah, they have. I don't think, based on who I work with and things, that we'll be back until the fall. A lot of businesses have said that they'll return employees in waves, and the people that I work with probably won't be back until the fall or so. But in regards to safety measures and things, yeah, they're going to require people to wear masks. There's going to be social distancing in effect. There's going to be the little plastic sneeze guards and stuff that you see up at Target. So if you're in close proximity, you'll have that in front of you. A lot of places have said they'll do temperature checks or require you to temperature check yourself before you come in. If you have any symptoms or things, you're not going to be able to come into the office. But I do think there's safety measures and protocols in place. But I think too, a lot of it the onus will be on us too, to make sure that, I'm wearing my own mask if in the event that I go in and there's not masks there. I got to make sure I have my own mask. I got to make sure I have hand sanitizer, that I'm washing my hands, trying to keep my distance from people. Or maybe that's just a paranoid state too, right? Y'all have the measures, but I'm going to be extra cautious and say, I'm going to take these additional measures to try not to get sick and bring it back to people that I'm around daily. So
You trust your cohorts to your cohorts. You trust your coworkers to do what they need to do. You don't want to throw away your vacation. You want to get paid. Will people still come in? Do you trust your cohorts?
Do I trust them? I don't know if it's about me trusting them or not. It's about me taking my measures to make sure. I'm gonna look at it as everybody has it, right? And I got to do what I got to do to try to make sure I don't catch it. So regardless of if they're safe or not, or they're following the proper measures, I still got to take whatever precautions I can take to shield myself.
You're gonna be juking coworkers in the hall. Oh! Hey, Bill. Hey.
I don't even know if I could do that. Might tear a hammy the way I feel.
Doing the damn Mayweather.
Oh my leg.
What's the Mayweather? Just
you be leaning. You be ducking it. With that shoulder. Yeah.
Ducking all them coughs. What have they done in my job? Well, they sent most of them people home, and I'm one of the few still in the office. For some reason, I thought it was the better choice. Call me crazy. There's 5 people on my floor, 6 people on my floor, and one of them sits 2 seats away from me, of course. They dropped off a few masks. At first, they dropped us off some crappy masks, but since then, they have really, they gave us, more and better masks.
They gave you the
They
drum
probably
with the logo on it, huh?
no, not yet. No, not yet. No, I think they just kind of gave us what they could get. You guys remember when no one could get the people that needed them couldn't get masks.
Mhm.
So I think what happened is when they were able to get better once they did, because now we got some ones that are a little better. And then Janelle just ordered in some masks that actually fit my face. So I'm thankful for that. They wipe down stuff supposedly. I don't always see it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe it, but supposedly they're wiping stuff down. I try not to touch doorknobs. They got hand sanitizer everywhere. And I've been really good. I mean, I probably washed my hands in these last few months more than I washed my hands in a normal 6 or 7 months. Like there's an extra focus. If I touch anything, like mentally, I can't go for it without going and washing my hands. So every time I go outside and come back in, because I do a lot of walking on my breaks, I come in, I wash my hands. My manager's lotion is just gone. I go over because he's gone, so I go over there every time, like, whoop, 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 off the DTC, but
You know what I mean? He said off the DTC.
There's 2 people to an elevator. They got all these little rules. Now there was one time I had to catch a bus, so I just jumped in like, sorry.
They looked at him too, like, bro.
No, they tried to play it off like, come on in, J. Gill. They know they didn't want me in. They know they didn't want me in there.
Everybody's, sir.
Hey, Rob, it's a little crowded in here.
You're supposed to stay to your corner in the elevator. They got, whatever.
So you was in the front by the no, never mind. I was gonna say you was in the front by the buttons and they made you press on them. Bellhop, floor 5. Man, I'm working.
By the time I get off, there's only one floor you can go to.
Yeah.
No, straight up.
Yeah.
Don't matter if you need a different floor. They don't care.
So yeah, I mean, definitely with me as well. My job puts we have to wear masks. Any people that come into our store, they have to wear masks. I never thought I'd have to tell so many adults to put a mask on or lift their mask back up, but it's either here or there, or even worse, stay 6 feet from me. Like, there's things on the floor that tell you stand back. You know what I mean?
The X's, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, just stand back. Like, just chill. But
so
yeah,
work all standoffish.
I know, right? We got sanitizer too. I'm constantly washing my hands after every interaction I have because I just don't play that. But I just feel like, never mind, I'm not gonna get into that. But to kind of good segue to segues in this episode, y'all check that out already. It goes into our next question. How do you feel about those people who are not following these safety protocols, who are not wearing masks, who are not social distancing? How do you guys feel about that?
So I take the bus home.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 70% of the people on the bus do not have a mask specifically on the way home, but there are people on the way to work too that aren't wearing masks, and they don't care. They're coughing. They're just as loud as they always are. Mm-hmm. I'm on the 18 for anyone who knows anything about MPLS. It's terrible. I'm protecting you by wearing a mask, and you're protecting me by wearing your mask. And they're not, their end of the bargain, they could care less. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of mental illness that goes on, and a lot of people, I'll just leave it at that. A lot of people with mental illness that hang out downtown. The buses are free right now. Everybody's jumping on the bus. And maybe a few of them don't know any better. I don't know what it is. I mean, I want to say some other stuff. I'm not gonna get nasty about it. But yeah, people are on edge. Don't say nothing to them about not wearing a mask. You might be starting a fight.
Yeah, I feel like everybody should be wearing them. I think it depends on where you are too, right? So, I mean, if you're out in your yard doing yard work or
nope, wear the mask.
Nah.
Wear two.
2 of them. If I'm driving to McDonald's and doing the drive-through, I don't know if I'm really gonna. Well, I'll be. I ain't put a mask on for that, right? Because I'm not close enough proximity. But if I'm in a crowded place or I know I'm gonna squeeze that social distance and be within 6 feet of people, yeah, I'm putting a mask on. Like Jake Gill.
Like tonight?
Yeah. Yep.
Double masked up.
Double masked up on a Friday. But yeah, I think if I'm closing that social distancing gap, right? If I'm in areas where I'm closing that social distancing gap, yeah, most definitely. I'm gonna make sure I wear a mask. And people that don't, I'm gonna try to extend that social distance. Now, I almost slapped a dude in Menards, I ain't gonna lie to you, because he ain't had no mask on. And he walked, like I'm looking at grass seed, and he walked right in front of me, and I almost like just reactively was like, bro, what you doing? And it was just like, I mean, so I think you got to say something to these people, and if they get upset, and then maybe you just walk away from it, right? Because there ain't no point in us going back and forth. You know, if you're jeopardizing my health, I'm just get out of here, and you know, we'll deal with it another day.
Be responsible for your own health. Just taking yourself out that situation.
But you can't. But you can't. Everybody needs to wear their mask, or your safety is being tested. Yeah.
Yep. So, and especially, I don't know if it's like, I don't have a problem with people not wearing masks if they're not within that social distancing frame, right? Like if you're not.
What about a packed bus?
Yeah, no, that's
packed bus.
Yeah, that's totally different. You're within that 6 feet. You should have a mask on there. I'm saying like, if you're walking down the street or something, you're going for a run and you're not within like close proximity to people, then I don't know if you need to have the mask on. But if you know you're putting yourself in a position like the bus where you're within those 6 feet, yeah, you got to be masked up.
You double mask up on that one.
What about these animals out here? These animals are catching it too, you know?
I don't know if they're able to transmit it from what I've heard. That's a good point, but I don't know if they're able to transmit it to humans.
Yeah.
Like, back up, squirrel. Yeah.
No, I agree with y'all though. That's kind of like the policy. I know at work, obviously we're in a closed confinement of each other, so yeah, mask on at all times. But yeah, if it's something where I feel like I'm not going to be around people for a long period of time, I don't have my mask on. Like the drive-through, like you said, I don't have my mask on. And for the love of God, people, stop driving with your mask on.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I'd be doing that sometimes.
Stop driving with your mask on.
I'll take it off to say something and then put it back on.
But here's the worst part, because there's people out here driving with glasses, and you see them. I can see the joints fogged up, and they're adjusted while driving. I'm like, yo, let me get away from them right now.
No, that is. I've done the Target a few times, and I drove to Target. And then put my mask on, go on in, come out, take it off. And you don't need to drive with your mask on. No. Like, if you got it, you already gonna have it. Like, you ain't protecting yourself from you. Like, if you got it, you already got it. Like, you know.
I know, but you don't want to be spitting on your steering wheel, and I guess unless you're gonna clean it every time.
You should be cleaning your car. You should be cleaning your steering wheel. You should be wiping down your dash and all that. I know I do. I keep the sanitizer wipes in there, and I wipe down the steering wheel and the dash when I pull in the parking lot. So,
do y'all wear gloves? Because I don't wear gloves, but I keep hand sanitizer in my car. So before I even started,
So if I'm going into a store, I'll glove up. But if I'm in my car, no.
Okay.
So,
you Jay Gill, you wear gloves?
No. You know, I've been saying I'm going to buy some gloves, and I haven't. But I do got some gloves, but I don't really know what they're for. Every time I touch something, I leave some white stuff behind.
Wait.
So it's like the powdered gloves or something.
Time out. Last time we were at your house, y'all had like 15 boxes of gloves.
Y'all did.
Placed throughout the house.
And they got powder on them. Oh, I thought a box was down here. But no, they got
behind you?
them,
the blue glove behind you?
No, this one actually doesn't. My wife got these for whatever reason. I can't remember, but those are hers, and they're like small.
Do some cleaning.
Oh, you can get those at the dollar store, yo.
What is that, Alexander?
What?
What you say? What is that?
Okay, we're not gonna go down that path because you know you're gonna get in trouble. You can clean the whole house.
You know, I'm gonna say what my granddaddy would say. Sounds like woman's work. That was from my granddaddy. I would.
Yeah. You better justify that. Yeah, you better justify that.
No, he was talking about cooking, and he was like, "Oh, I can." And no, he was talking about ironing clothes. And my granddaddy he was talking about, "Oh, that's women's work." I couldn't believe it.
I actually enjoy that. Like you get a nice crease in your stuff. Like I enjoy that.
Yeah, you do be starching it up.
A-Rod made sure he had that little crease in his khakis before school.
I mean, get him right. Polos, dress shirts, be creased to the T. Not lately. I've been lazy, but you know.
Oh, okay.
Any event.
Yeah, any event.
What about tonight?
Nope. Just going in with a T-shirt.
He said he going in his thought wear, just gray sweats.
No.
Dudes be thinking they slick. They go, they be going up in the club with all these soft clothes on. You know what you was doing.
You right. Going in with like joggers and stuff.
You don't even believe in lightweight stuff, and now you going in here with all this on.
They be like, "Nigga, you wearing linen?"
They got a bat, Gary Rowe.
You're not slick.
Oh man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
He going with them velour suits Diddy used to wear back in the day.
I guess if brothers could go up in there naked, they probably would go up in there butt naked.
Segue number 3, because it's going right into it. So what are some like things or tasks y'all miss from pre-pandemic? Like what are some things y'all looking forward to that's opening up, or something you'll be able to do again on the regular?
Oh, podding with you guys in person. And I know we got some video stuff to figure out, but personally, that being able to feel safe going around my mom and friends and podding and of course going out. I never really went out this year, but all of a sudden we can't go nowhere. Now it's like, man, you know what? When I get the chance, I'm gonna go to the strip club.
No, you're not.
Not tonight, though. Not tonight. I'm gonna wait and see if everything spikes.
Ain't nobody invite you.
Oh, I ain't got no $40 right now anyway.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I would say Jay Gill spot on, right? Meeting in person, hanging out, just chit chatting. All the chit chatting that we do before we actually come live on the pod. I mean, we do it here, but it ain't the same as being in person. I miss Applebee's mozzarella sticks. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like going there for like just the ad hoc stuff we used to do. Like, yo, y'all want to grab dinner or something? Like, y'all want to get some wings or that type of stuff. Yeah, like I do miss that type of stuff. Going out, like I didn't go out much either lately, but like, yeah, now I'm like, just to see other people and interact, I think is the biggest thing. To be like, oh, well, what'd you do during the team? What was you on? Like that type of stuff. I think I'm ready to do again. So
you've been watching them OnlyFans, and now you want to be in person, huh?
I ain't watching OnlyFans, but Dre,
I was your top contributor.
Hey, Ma, what you looking forward to, Dre? What do you miss?
Definitely, like, again, agree with y'all. Meeting up for the pod was always something I looked forward to every week. It was always fun. Just because, like I said, it would lead on to other things. It would lead on to us going out to dinner, going to Applebee's, having some drinks, going to Ray J's before we go somewhere else. Or even if we, with some of our guests, we'll end up going out. You know what I mean? We'll go have some drinks, go out, or to go chill somewhere. But, and also missing just going out to restaurants too. It was nice, like, just going to hang out at a restaurant. Definitely kind of missed just chilling at Ray J's. You know what I mean? That was a spot. Also, haircuts on the regular. That's not going to be an issue. Yeah, just normal tasks like that. That's about that. Yeah. So
watching basketball. Jesus.
I mean, we're probably watching that soon anyway. So, but I'm
sorry. They had, speaking of sports, I saw something funny. Like the Korean Baseball League, they put like stuffed animals behind the pitcher's plate or behind the catcher's home plate, and it looked like they was playing in front of like little stuffed animals. It was comedy. It was pretty funny. I saw it. I started cracking up. Yeah, they didn't stuff the stands with stuffed animals.
Wow.
So this is my second to last question. Do you think America can handle a second wave?
Ooh.
We have to. We have to. We feel like most of us who are of sound mind probably expect it. Hopefully, it's not that bad. But we're opening up. We're testing more. I mean, between those two things, you have to expect, cases to rise. And there is no vaccine. There is no, we may have all been sick, and we don't know if we might not get sick again. So, like I said, people can catch the flu every year.
Yeah.
And every time it hits somebody, and it's changing and moving to the next person and changing. So.
Yeah, I do think we can handle it. What that handle looks like, who knows? Like, are we going to be forced to shut down again? Jay Gill
Worst
talked
case
about
scenario.
Yeah, that is worst case scenario. The economy shuts down again, but it preserves lives. Is it because you're hearing that it could be mixed with the flu, which make testing harder, right? Like, do you know if it, because the symptoms are so similar? Well, do you have the flu or do you have COVID? I think we'll handle it, but how we handle it, I don't know what that looks like. Is it more loss of life than the first time? I think what history has shown is even with the Spanish flu in 1918, the second wave was worse than the first wave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hard to define how we handle it. Do I think we'll come out of it? Yeah, absolutely. But what kind of impact it has, I think is going to be the rough part to tell until we just get into it. Right. Like,
what if this virus is the end of the human race? That would be a sorry ass ending.
I don't know, because so many people aren't hit as severely. I don't think it'll wipe all of us out. But if it mutates, like you were saying, like the flu, and it hits people worse, and like younger people are getting it and passing away from it, I think that's gonna be hard to handle.
Zombies 2020.
Right. So y'all better get the cat.
I don't know if it's the end of humanity, but I mean, it's either going to be that or this meteorite that's going to be flying by Earth. We'll see about that.
I ain't heard about that.
Oh, you ain't heard about that, brother? Oh, I'll put you on game on that one. Yeah.
All right.
But seeing that you also said possibility that the worst case scenario, the economy does shut down again. Today, Trump did announce that he will not shut the country down if a second wave happens. He's leaving that responsibility up to the state governors to shut their states down.
So he can pass the blame.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think he has that authority, right? Like, if federally, he can say that the federal government is shutting down, but if a state's governor says we're shutting down our businesses, there ain't much he can say about it. Force you to you can't say anything about that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if it's in the best interest of our country and people's health to shut it down again, that's what's got to happen. Like, well, federal government's got to do more to take care of its people at that point, right? But the hope to it, and even touching on your last question, the hope is that we have a better grasp of how to isolate and contact trace and test these things during the next. That we have a better grasp on it, and we're more prepared for the second wave than we were for the first wave. That's the hope, but he don't have no say so on that.
I think he's just trying to skirt. I think he's just trying to skirt responsibility. Like, he knows that his people, the people who will vote for him, they don't want things to shut down. So for him to say, "I'm not going to shut things down," that's a win for him. And then for him to say, "Hey, we're going to let the state governors do that," that means, hey, don't blame me. That's what that sounds like. Like, hey, don't blame me. I'm not shutting down anything. Trump 2020. He might as well have said that right after.
I think you touched on a good thing too, because when they're projecting that second wave hits is right before the election, right? That September, October time frame. Mm-hmm. He shuts it down again. People are probably going to be frustrated and take that out in the voting booths and be like, "Yo, you screwed this up, not once but twice. I feel some type of way about you. Let's get you out." So,
all right. So
that's your president.
That's your president, brother. I voted for Harambe. But yeah, my last question for this episode is, what is a new normal going to look like post-pandemic?
Maybe mask, maybe gloves, maybe social distancing isn't such a bad idea regardless. Um, I mean, you don't have to go overboard maybe on elevators and things, but maybe when it's unnecessary, you don't bunch up with people. Um, I think the cleaning and these are things that should have already been big. Hand
Mhm.
cleaning, hand washing. Hopefully people don't forget how to wash their hands when this is over. So the good thing is if this lasts a year or two, people, that should be drilled into your head. Wash your damn hands after everything you do.
Like drilling
Don't
it
touch
already.
and don't touch me.
I think certain industries will be affected differently than others. I think you'll see it in workplaces, right? Work industries. You'll see some of that distance, like the social distancing rules in effect, people on the elevator, like Jay Gill talked about. I think you'll see some of those things carry over. I think you'll see it in the travel industry with people, different, you're not going to be crammed in the airplane anymore. That middle seat might be open, which benefits everybody, right? More room for all of us. I do think there will be a clamoring to go back to the old normal and be in close proximity to people. Sports stadiums, I think, will be filled again if we come out with a vaccine, or a year or two from now. I think people will be clamoring to be back in those type of environments and engaging with people. But I do think some industries will change, and mainly work environments and travel. I think will be the ones most affected.
What
Mhm.
about real estate and hotels specifically for people traveling for work? Because that's a big part of their business.
Yeah, I think the hotel industry is probably gonna have to get bailed out.
Yeah.
If they haven't been already as part of the stimulus package. I don't know. I think they got some. I don't know how much they got. But you're right. There's gonna be vacancies in hotels. But I think because you're closed off to a certain extent, and if they use proper cleaning protocols, um,
I'm just talking, will people book them? Will people be
oh,
traveling as
I
much?
think I
Or
think they said people are still booking hotels and traveling just fine still in a way. Because hotels have a very strict policy. And I think they only limit 2 people in the room, and they have some hotels have temperature checking, and some hotels as well. So if you have any symptoms being shown, they won't book the room for you. Then if you come in at check-in, they'll deny the booking.
so they
the
got.
last hotel I went to, the same person that checked me in cleaned my room and all the other rooms.
Where'd you
So
stay?
so
Motel
that
Six?
Motel 7, no.
We were talking about
But
these five
but
by the hour motels.
no, across from MOA, they got some decent little I think they're, man, I don't know the names. I think they're connected to Marriott like everything else. They're actually pretty nice hotels, but like I said, the person who checked me in was cleaning my room and running the whole thing. So they got some of them people um, that are usually at the top probably or in the back and you never see. They got them people cleaning rooms.
Hmm.
It's tough. They're tough, and I'm wondering with Zoom taking off, are you gonna pay for you're gonna pay for Rob or Dre to go to Chicago when
Probably.
you could just Zoom?
Yeah, probably not. I think that, yeah, that's what I said. You'll see some of this affect industries in the sense of some of those travel for meetings and stuff will probably get cut. But I
Hmm.
still think people want that interaction too, right? Like we just talked about it with us wanting to get out and just engage and be out and that type of thing. I think people will still down the road, again, not right away, but down the road, I think people will fight for that to get back to normal. But Jay Gill raised a good point, but the hotels, I hadn't thought about that. Like
Hmm.
they'll probably be hurting for a while and I think it's if consumer confidence doesn't rise and people don't get their jobs back or all these layoffs and stuff, I think that industry will be hurt too.
Yeah.
And airlines too. Yeah, airlines.
Shoot, if they want to fly, if I can fly out to Greece or somewhere for 400, I'll catch the Rona for that.
Well,
Oh, honey.
there is certain countries that will pay you or reimburse you to come visit them. I know, like Cancun's one of them. They
Really?
will, they will reimburse you up to one plane ticket, so you can bring a friend, and they will give you 2 free nights if you pay for 2 nights
Shit.
post pandemic. So
What y'all doing in July?
look out for these deals. What I think a new normal will look like, I think we're going to see a lot more remote working from home. So I think that's going to become a new thing. People just working from home in general. I think the sanitation business is going to definitely keep booming. I think that we're going to see a lot more people going in that field, and there's going to be a lot more sanitation jobs just for like the city in general. I know we already got the city cleaners. I think we're going to see a lot more cleaning going on in cities across the United States and all that. But yeah, I definitely agree with the masks, the gloves, social distancing. It's just gonna be something interesting to see how we adjust to it and see how if we're gonna go back to our old ways or adjust to the new ways. So
How long y'all think it'll last? Because we had it for this. Well, not we had it, but the Spanish flu had it, and then we went kind of back to normal, right? So how long do y'all think that